Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and I have a diamond in the rough for you today. He's a big guy there on the offensive line for Brockport. His name is Scott Ochsner. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
So definitely feel like a lot of people need to, an opportunity to meet you. Very big guy on the offensive line, despite being a D3 talent, should be on everyone's boards as a prospect this upcoming draft. So, Scott, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about where you're from and begin us with your story. All right.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town called Skinny Atlas, New York, right outside of Syracuse. Played high school football for 4 years there, won a state championship my senior year,
Nice.
then went to Brockport where I spent 6 years playing college football.
Interesting. So, yeah, the way that Skinny Atlas is spelled, you would never say it that way, but that's obviously how that's said. So Skinny Atlas High School there, you said obviously near the Syracuse area. So I think a lot of people are mostly familiar with that because of the bigger school that's there. But again, for you, certainly growing up in that area, uh, winning a national title sounds great, but I mean, anything else about your time there in high school that you want to share? Like, maybe like a favorite memory?
I'd say our favorite memory I had was the team dinners before our football games on Friday nights, just being with the guys, hanging out, just memories that last forever.
Cool. Also have in my notes that you also did some lacrosse there, which I feel is very interesting. You have a guy who is playing goalie. And I don't know how big you were back in your high school days, but dude, right now you're somewhere around 6'7", maybe, they have you listed at 6'8", but I think you're somewhere in the middle there.
Yeah.
Um, what's your weight these days? 325, 330?
I'm
What's
at weighing in at 318.
318? So I'm trying to picture this guy that's literally that size in front of this teeny tiny uh, lacrosse net. And so there is absolutely no way a lacrosse ball is getting by you. So anything you want to add to that?
Well, I think that's the reason why they put me in the goal in hopes to take up most of it. But there's nothing
Cool.
nothing more painful.
Uh, Even though perhaps it's a pretty damn good strategy to have a guy your size playing lacrosse, really you were meant to play football. Let's just be real. That's the sport that, obviously everyone's, looking at you. You got scouts wondering about you at the next level. So um, let's talk a little bit about your recruitment. Coming out of Skinny Atlas, um, was hoping maybe perhaps to go to Syracuse, but certainly that didn't exactly work out. Talk to me about the whole recruiting process coming out of school.
Yeah, so coming out of high school, I had some Division I interests. My high school coach put me in contact with Syracuse, Buffalo, and Albany, and I had a preferred walk on at Buffalo and a preferred walk on at Albany, and Syracuse, nothing really came about. And I ended up committing to Brockport because I just felt more at home there. And then after I committed to Brockport, Albany came back with a partial scholarship offer, and I decided to stick with Brockport.
That's fair. You make a decision, you stick with it. Brockport, again, they're in New York, not too far away from home. I don't know if that had any bearing as to your decision, but that's certainly the school that took a chance on you. Um, Talk to us about that school. I know a lot of people may not know about that school too much. Again, Division III school, but what makes SUNY Brockport special for you?
Just the coaches and the people and the program they have. I mean, that's a program that is designed on winning, and which is something that's most important to me is winning football games. I don't want to go lose games. There's nothing more infuriating and frustrating. And I think to play Brockport football, you got to hate losing more than you like winning. So that's what made the choice easy for me.
Great. And again, you had shared that you've been there for a minute. So I'm assuming you have at least one degree. What's your status on that on your academic side?
So I graduated with a My major was sports management, and I minored in coaching and communications.
Cool. So, I mean, do you perhaps see yourself coaching whenever your football days are done, or what?
Yeah, when my football playing career wraps up, I don't think I can get away from the game. I think it's just something that I need to be around.
Hey, well, I mean, it's nice to be able to say that you've gotten your degrees. You have something maybe to pursue once your football days are done. But Scott, right now, obviously you are going to get an opportunity here soon. Like it or not, I mean, it's going to happen. So, but let's get to talking more about your school and you as a player. So, again, offensive lineman, mostly offensive tackle. But talk about your guys' offense there, if you don't mind, at Brockport. If you had to describe it to people, like, what would you say?
I'd say downhill running the football. We're just getting 21 personnel. We had a great fullback and tight end combo, and we would just get downhill and get after you.
Okay, uh, so punch you in the mouth, kind of like old school, sort of, you said 21 personnel, of course.
Yep.
And so, all right. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people are using that these days. I mean, most people are spreading things out, dinking and dunking their way all the way down the field. So, a little different, which I'm sure you guys do pass the ball, but,
Yeah.
again, nice to be able to establish that, of course, and then move forward. Again, as an offensive lineman, I do feel like your size really sets you apart. I mean, literally at the Division III level, there is not too many guys with 35-inch arms uh, out there playing on the offensive line. It's just almost unheard of. So that certainly sets you apart in my eyes. But is there anything perhaps that you can add on that as to what you bring to the table as a prospect?
Yeah, I think with playing six falls of college football, you get a lot of in-game experience and you get a lot of like knowledge for the game. And then you can kind of like slow it down because mentally you're already comprehending pre-snap what your job is. And then I think being there for 6 years, a lot of good leadership traits come out and you get to help the younger guys along and just lead the guys every Saturday.
Gotcha. And again, you had mentioned that you've been there for 6 seasons, which is not normal for a Division III guy. So I would imagine somewhere along the line, there was a little bit of a hurdle. And so, of course, we're talking about the 2022 season, where perhaps your love of the game is challenged. And so, certainly, it's a telltale of character as to how a person responds to adversity. So, talk through that if you don't mind.
Yeah, so our second drive of the season and our home opener, we were playing Framingham. I had a high ankle sprain, and I decided it was best to take the medical redshirt year as I didn't feel 100%. So I went on with that, and my coaches were great. They let me help coach the JV team, and I got to still be around it. And then it made me even hungrier to go out there next fall and play again.
Awesome. And of course, it gives you another year to better yourself, get in the weight room, get stronger, get
Absolutely.
yourself prepared for really what's happening now. And that is obviously you hoping to get your shot at the next level. So, um, certainly maybe not the highlight of your career, but, obviously something you had to go through with. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the highlights. So, you've certainly had some great games along the way. So, give me a couple of them, man. A couple of games, maybe even a specific play that you remember.
I got to be going back to Cortland in 2019. We were down like 26 nothing right before the half. Then we scored, and we actually came back to beat them in overtime to win the conference that year. And that's just a football game I'll never forget.
That's definitely wild. Coming back
That was crazy.
26 down. I mean, that's something. That really shows like everyone's grit and desire to
Yeah.
win. So cool. So uh, Scott, we've talked about this whole idea that you're probably one of the top D3 talents this season. Let's just be real. But one of the things I kind of want to ask you, which I kind of feel like I know what sort of answer I'll be getting is you're a small school guy. I think that that's the biggest, hurdle that you kind of have to overcome. What do you what do you say to all those doubters that just say, "Hey, this is just a small school guy. I don't know if he's going to be able to cut it at the next level." What do you tell them?
I mean, I'm hungry and I'm ready to go, and just get me through that door, and I think we put it on the same playing field, and you'll see what the small schools really have to offer.
Honestly, for me personally, I feel like with my exchanges with guys at your position, um, sometimes they're hungrier than these guys that kind of get you know, spoon fed. let's just
Absolutely.
let's just say it. So, and that is the truth, I feel. But and there obviously are guys that do, you know, I don't know, fall through the cracks, end up at a lower level of competition, but still get to the pros. It literally happens every single season. So certainly you're next in line to do that. So Scott, I guess the question now is, what are you doing these days? Are you training somewhere? Are you at a particular facility? Are you working with a coach? Enlighten me.
So I'm training 6 days a week with the trainer out in Syracuse, New York. It's comp training systems. And we've been doing a great job every week, just climbing the ladder of improving on numbers and just getting closer and closer to hitting our benchmark goals.
Cool. So, do you have a pro day set up? I mean, are you going to be going out there, or what's your status on that front?
I do. I have Buffalo UB on the 14th and then Syracuse on the 18th.
That's a cool deal to be able
Yeah,
to be a Division III athlete, have the opportunity to go not just to one pro day, but to two at a Division I school, and hopefully get a chance to outplay some of those guys and prove that you belong.
exactly.
I think that that's such a great opportunity for you, which I know you're going to take full advantage of. So, certainly best of luck to you in that regard.
Thank you.
Um, so, do want to take a moment to see if there's anything else about this Scott Oxnard guy, Scott Oxner guy. I knew I was going to mess up your last name. Tell us a little bit more about yourself that maybe not everybody knows, whether it be any secret talents or hobbies or anything you want to share with people. Go for it.
Yeah, so I'd say my hobby would definitely be, other than football, would be like weightlifting, and hunting is my like oddball hobby that I like to do. So in the fall, when I get time from breaks from school or football during our bye week, I'll go home and go out hunting a couple times.
Well, sure. Obviously, the first thing you said there was weightlifting, which kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah,
Let's
hand
be
in hand.
real. But certainly hunting is a little different. You go out in the wilderness and, you know, I don't know, just chill by
Yeah.
yourself sometimes. I mean, is it just you, or do you have some buddies that go with you, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we'll go duck and goose hunting, and a bunch of my buddies from high school will go together. It's kind of like we're just meeting up. Haven't seen them in a while because I'm out at school and they're all home graduated,
Gotcha.
and we'll catch up and hunt.
Well, certainly a different kind of hunting too. I mean, again, depending on what your game is, the attitude and approach is somewhat different. So,
Yep.
um, cool. Couple of quick fun questions. So, favorite snack food?
Favorite snack food? I'd have to go with beef jerky.
Turkey, of course. How about you have any favorite movies that you really like?
I'm not a big movie guy or TV guy, but I will say Cars is definitely up there for me. I don't know why, I've just always liked it.
You mean like the Disney first
The
one?
Disney movie Cars. Yep.
We're not talking about Fast and Furious. We're talking about cars. We're talking
Talking about
about the
cars.
the real OG.
Yep.
um, okay, okay. Uh, I'm gonna try and embarrass you real quick. So, I mean, is there perhaps a song that you might be a little embarrassed to admit that you like?
Not gonna lie, I think Adele is one of my favorite artists, and I do listen to her at pregame sometimes too. And I think "Water Under the Bridge" is probably my favorite one.
So does that like kind of mess with some of your teammates there or what?
I don't think it messes with them. I keep my headphones on, so I don't even know if they know, to be honest.
Um, Another thing I just kind of wanted to touch base with you on. Of course, you're coming out of Brockport is probably their top prospect in quite some time, but are there some other guys there that we need to keep an eye on next season?
So this year we actually had a phenomenal defensive back in Raylan's boot, and next year I think linebacker Ben Robinson and Mike Talbert are going to be really good, high quality players, and then running back Gino Fontanarosa. I'm really excited to go back and watch those guys.
Awesome. Well, certainly right now it's your turn, man. You're up, and you have a couple pro days here very soon. We're going to go and knock those things out of the park. But as we close up shop, I know that there's scouts that are wondering about you, that want to get a chance to meet you. So go ahead and close us out with really your pitch to them as to why they need to give you that opportunity. So go for it.
Yeah, I would say I've always been the underdog with coming from a small high school, Class C, and then coming from another small school in Brockport. But these pro days are going to give me a great opportunity to go out there and compete with the high level guys and show that I can do just what they can do at a high level. And once I get through that front door, I mean, we're all on the same playing field.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be, through that front door and, really, you're going to have an opportunity to shine. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how that, pro days are going to work for you. So
Absolutely.
what days are those? Can you drop those real quick?
Thursday the 14th and then Monday the 18th.
Great. So certainly something to look forward to. Scott, wish you very best of luck in all that and everything else you got going on in your life. And hopefully next time you go hunting, you'll get a couple.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Again, I have with me Scott Ochsner. He is an offensive lineman, big guy out there, 35-inch arms out of Brockport. Check this guy out. He's going to be at a couple of D1 pro days here very soon. Take care.
Thanks.